Right, super. Right, so starting on with the notice, not a notice, but a soft reminder. We have how many days left? It's almost 102, 3. So we'll make it like 100 days, right? That was key to thing. 100ක් වගේනේ. උපරිම 100ක්. 100ක් 102ක් likewise. So what would happen is second කවුද කතා කරන්නේ? Right? So we have around 100 plus days and again roughly 3 months වගේ තියෙන්නේ නේද? So I would personally believe still this 100 days is more than enough for you to go through this A-level journey. මේ දවස් 100ක් හොඳටම ඇති. හරියට වැඩ කරොත් මේ දවස් 100න් කියන්නේ මේ දවස් ටිකෙන් දවස් 100න් හරියට වැඩ කරොත් බොරුවට මේ ජෝගි දදා ආතල් දදා බොරු කර කර ඉන්න නෙමෙයි. හරියට if you really work together, commit together with a proper plan, then still it is more than enough. So I'll tell you a couple of exam secrets, right? What you really need to master at this final moment. One thing is, I always tell this one, repetition is the key. As much as you can repeat the same stuff again, 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 and again, and again, ඊට පස්සේ අනිවාර්යෙන් results would be high because it would want මතකයි. Then in terms of repetition, what else you could do is, you can start on with past papers. I hope now you are currently even you are doing past papers. මම හිතනවා that you are doing it. So what you could do is පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩිපුර කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ same paper එක වැඩිපුරම කරන්න. මම හිතන්නේ ඔයාලට මම කියලා තියෙන්නේ නේද මට යුනිවර්සිටි හම්බෙච්ච යාළුවෙක් හිටියා එයාගේ success story එක. So as much as you do the past papers, tendency that you would get higher scores is pretty simple. And අපි උකට management වල we call this one as reverse engineering, right? So reverse engineering කියන්නේ product එකක් අරගෙන ඒක පිටිපස්සට engineer කරනවා මොනවා වගේද ඒ product එක හැදුනේ කියලා. That is called reverse engineering. So the same thing you can do at your exam also. How you do reverse engineering? Very simple. You do the paper and then you know, okay, what sort of questions have been tested, and then you know, okay, how to answer this question. What has been the ideal answer? Then you come back and see, okay, ඇයි එක වැරදුනේ, ඇයි එක හරි ගියේ, right? ඒ වගේ පොඩි reverse part එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකින්ද I guess it is the ideal time now. You have to give a little bit of more focus on papers as well. Past papers වලට ටිකක් focus එකක් දෙන්න. පොඩි plan එකක් හදා ගන්න බලන්න past papers මම කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. මම දැන් suggest කරන්නේ if you are අර කියන්නේ first shot guy පළවෙනි පාට past papers කරගෙන එන්න, I would suggest you lesson by lesson කරන්න, right? Lesson by lesson කරන්න. කියන්නේ lesson එක ඉවර කරන්න. lesson 1 එකේ අරගන්න අවුරුදු 5ක් හරි අවුරුදු 10ක් හරි ගන්න depending on your availability. ඒ එක ඉවර කරන්න. ඒ lesson එකේ ටික ඉවර කරන්න, right? That is the first round. Second round එකත් ඔයාලට ඕන නම් ඒ විදිහටම කරන්න පුළුවන්. But third, fourth round එකදී do the entire paper together. ඒ කියන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ paper එක කරන්න. And final round එකදී I would say අර ඔයාලා select කරගන්නවානේ මම මේ paper මම මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි කරන්න කියලා. අනේ ඒක විතරක් select කරගෙන ඒක වැඩිපුර කරන්න, right? And the other thing is you can prepare a question bank, right? Question bank එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන්, right? මම ඒක ගැන detail කියලා දෙන්නම් question bank එක හදන්නේ කොහොමද? Because key is repetition, right? මම ඒකෙන් චුටි වීඩියෝ එකක් කරලා ඔයාලට කියන explain කරන්න question bank එකක් කොහොමද හදන්නේ කියලා. It's a very easy technique which I did. I might have my A level, I'm not pretty sure. මමත් question bank එක හැදුවා. Question banking around 50 to 60% questions came from the question bank. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ මම ඒක හදන්නට කියලා දෙන්නම් ඔයාලට question bank එකක් කොහොමද හදන්නේ කියලා. ඒක හදන්න. And even it will make your life much easy. And I always say මේ දවස් 100ක් more than enough if you really commit in the right manner. හරියට commit කරොත් more than enough, because we have discussed almost the grade 12 most important significant concepts and things we have discussed. And the other thing is there are a couple of new students who joined in the midway round, and putting request එකක් තියෙනවා how can we do the first alvini lessons ටික කොහොමද ආයෙ කරන්න කියලා. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to do a little recap class focusing on these lessons. Like එක දවසක් ගන්නවා 1 2 3යි එක දවසෙම පැය 4ක් විතර අරගෙන like 4ක් 5ක් maybe 4 hours වගේ අරගෙන සුටක් ඈතියේ ක්ලාස් එක right පොඩක් කමිට් කරන්න වෙනවා if I could then you also could know right so එක දවසක් අරගෙන ඒ දවසට ඔක්කොම ටික පාඩම් ටික කියලා දෙන්න වගේ පොඩි plan එකක් තියෙනවා you can give your inputs also right you can put you can WhatsApp me and give your inputs what you think what you need to do and what sort of lessons you need more focus right what sort of areas in lessons you need more focus what sort of things I could do to you right මම මේ පුළුවන් වෙලාවේ මේ තියෙන පොඩි වෙලාවේ පුළුවන් උපරිමය කරන්න I'm give my try I hope that that's why you guys are there with me until very last ඉතින් අපි පුළුවන් උපරිමය කරමු and also I'm giving my best shot to you in whatsoever and the next news announcement and the notice is COVID is spreading very fastly ඔයාලා මේ අවුරුදු විභාගය වෙන කට්ටිය ඒකේ හින්දා හරිම පරිස්සමෙන් ඉන්න because මොකක් හරි අපේ තියෙන misfortune එකට මොන හරි වුණොත් you might miss this time A level right මොකක් හරි වුණොත් miss time A level කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ එහෙම වුණ නැති වුණොත් you have to wait another 6 rather 6 එමේ අපිට කියන්න බෑ තව අවුරුද්දක් එකමාරක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් COVID එක drag වුණොත් you have to wait until you have to sit for the exam ඒ වෙලාව අපරාධය ඒකින්ද හරිම පරිස්සම් වෙන්න පොඩ එළියට බහිදි මේ දවස්වල පොඩක් හයිපර් විදියට පොඩක් ස්ප්‍රෙඩ් වෙනවා ඒකනේ චුට්ටක් ඒක ගැන ફોකස් කරන්න හරිම පරිස්සමෙන් ඉන්න මේ දවස් ටිකේ එළියට බහින්න නැතුව පුළුවන් තරම් පාඩම් කරන්න එතකොට it would make your life much easy hari so let's jump into today's lesson මාව මේත් එක්ක වෙනකන් මේ මොකද්ද ලැග් වුණේ නැහැ නේද ස්ටක් වුණේ ලැග් වුණේ කනෙක්ට් වුණේ ඒවා දේවල් වුණේ නැහැ නේද it was all clear right crystal clear right ඇහෙනවා පේනවා හොඳට අවුලක් නැහැ නේද connection එක අවුල් නැතුව ඇති කියලා I'm hoping super all right nice let's start the things on අද හරි interesting topic එකක් තියෙන්නේ to discuss so my plan I'll tell you my plan how to do this one so I told you we have two parts right two parts in this lesson so I have divided this entire lesson into two parts first part where we are going to really discuss about money and the second part we will be discussing about if time prevails price will also be included in the first part it's not pricing indexes and all the other stuff and financial markets right unethical will be the second part like the money creation right so the deposit multiplier and all this how this entire thing works in the financial system in the banking system we'll be discussing them on the next day so until price index like types of money supply and all this stuff we'll be discussing in the today's part giving more detail and more emphasis on the clear cut definitions and all these key things that you need to keep in mind hi okay let's start things on so you know the lesson it's nothing other than money and banking so we'll be giving focus on money today right we'll be giving focus on money today banking would be the next thing okay let's start with a quick recap I'll have a simple example tell me whether this is money or not right we have two people right we have two people and this person has a bag full of milk or sorry a bottle full of milk and this person has a box full of let's take something like half festival and but we'll assume it's right so these two people exchange this one right එයා කීට දෙනවා මෙයාලා හාල් කරනවා is this money involved in here do we have money in here my first question do we have money in here and do we have money no but next question is do we have trade in here money no but do we have trade in here do we have trade do we have a trade yes we have a trade in here right so the simple question in the very first time does money is a mandatory case in trade trade එකක් වෙන්න money කියන එක mandatory ම දෙයක්ද අනිවාර්ය දෙයක්ද right yes I mean no yeah the answer is keep this thing in your mind money is what is not a mandatory thing And we know with this entire system, we call this one as the barter system. Then the question and argument arise from this concept of money. What do you mean by money? What do you mean by money? Then what is money? If it is not a mandatory case in trade, mandatory අත්‍යවශ්‍ය දෙයක්වත් නෙමෙයිලු. However, then what do you mean by money? What do you mean by money in very simple terms? Right? What do you call money as? Trade එකේ මොකක්ද? money එකේ මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? Trade එකේ එක part එකක් but ඒකත් mandatory part එකක් නෙමෙයි. What is money? It's what? What is money? Okay, I have another question for you. Money. Is money is all about capital? Agree or not? Is money capital? Going back to the very first lesson, money is not what? Money is not capital. Then again, the same question. Why money is not capital? Why we call money is not capital? Same thing, huh? මොකක්ද money කියන්නේ? Why money is not capital? Why money is not capital, and what do you mean by money? That's the first main thing you need to know. Right? Yes, it does not produce anything. Yes, you can agree. It cannot be used as actively in the production process. නං හරි ඔයාලා දැන් ඔය first lesson එකේ උත්තරේ මට කියන්නේ. I don't need that one. Just try to connect these dots. Right? තමයි why it is not capital, and what do you mean by money, and what the money does in terms of trade is again what money acts as in the usual terms, but with four main functions. And money is basically what? Money is basically a medium of exchange. I agree. Right? It's basically medium of exchange. But going more into detail, what we have what? We have four what? Four characteristics or else four functions. Exam they might ask you, look here, tell me, right, more about characteristics. Right? If they ask about, but tell me, right, the characteristics, then it is something else. But if the examiner is asking about functions, then this is very something else, right? This is clearly something else. So in your level and in your syllabus, the examiner is giving trigger on this part. But they might have a little bit of MCQs here and there regarding a couple of characteristics as well. Characteristics can put focus එකක් ඉතින් exam එකේ දෙන්න පුළුවන්. But keep this thing in your mind. What is the most important part? The most important part is nothing other than function. Right? Tell me a couple of characteristics. අපිට revise කරගමු මම ලියන්නේ නැහැ මෙතන. As it takes time. චුට්ටක් කියන්න බලන්න. What are the main characteristics of money? How money can be differentiated from the rest of something like this? Milk is not money, wife is not money, this is not money, right? Yes. The main cause is, the first thing you need to most importantly keep this thing in your mind is money is generally accepted. Most common thing. Most common thing, yes, durability, divisibility, arability, ability, yes, it is there. But the most important part is what? Generally accepted. Hitanda, you have any other thing which can be portable, which can be divisible, which can be durable, which can be store value, and all this stuff. But if it is not accepted, then is it money? Api gamu simple example eka. Tippikatu. Right? You know it's tippikatu. Right? Tippikatu, yes, you know seashells. So it has most of the functions. Most of these characteristics, right? Good axiom. But how it differs from a usual case is, right? What? Simple simple example. Even this chip cutter, it's very hard to counterfeit නෙමෙයි නේද? ඒකම ආයෙ හදන්න බෑනේ අපිට නේ. counterfeit කරන්නත් බෑ. copy කරන්නත් බෑ. හරිද? But why it's really differentiate from money is what general acceptance. ඒක මතක තියාගන්න. ඒක තමයි most important part එක. What is the most important one? General acceptance. Right? මුළු ලෝකෙම එහෙම නැත්නම් economy එකකම you need to accept this one. That is the most important part, right? Other than that, you have durability, you have uniformity, you have portability, you have stability of value, difficult to counterfeit, right? Legal validity, right? Easy identification. One of the characteristics. Make in MCQ world විතරයි most of the time. But the most crucial one is 4 functions of money. Tell me, what are the 4 functions of money? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. First one is what? First one is right. Okay. පොඩි එකක් වලට කියන්න. මම මේ උත්තරේ වැරදි නැහැ. Medium of exchange. Is it a function or not? මම දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් tricky වෙනවා. හරිද? පොඩ්ඩක් tricky වෙනවා. I just want to be very crucial, very critical and like what we call very concrete with you. Medium of exchange. දැන් මම මෙතන කිව්වා. Right? Basically medium of exchange. Medium of exchange කියන එක is really a function or not? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes. So basically ළමයි it's a function, right? එක function එකක් තමයි. හැබැයි in the exam පොඩ්ඩක් be critical and be specific. දැන් ඔයා මෙතනත් medium of exchange කියලා ආයෙ මම කියනවා 4 functions තියෙනවා. ආයෙ පොඩ්ඩක් tricky නේද? මම මෙතනත් කියලා මෙතනත් කියනවා. So use this word. Function එක හැම වෙලෙම explain කරද්දී use this word. But it acts as a medium of exchange. It is the function. Function එක මොකද්ද? Medium of exchange එකක් විදිහට act කරන එක. තේරෙනවද? පොඩි වචනයක් එහාට වෙන්නේ වැරදි නෑ. ඔයාලා medium of exchange කියලා ඉවත් උත්තරේ හරි. But I want you guys to be very concrete on the answer. හරිම උත්තරේ ලියන්න. නිකන් බාගෙට ලියන්න එපා. Right? So what's the function? Function එකක් කියන්නේ ඔයා මොනවද කරන දෙයක් නේ? Something you do. Right? So what is the function? First one is act as a medium of exchange. Act කියන වචනේ දාන්න. Act as a medium of exchange එකක් විදියට he is working. Right? That is the first function. Act as a medium of exchange. I කියනවා medium of exchange කියලා වැරදි නෑ. Right? It's right. But I wanted to be very specific. Act as a medium of exchange. So in your level, right, in your level and in your exam, you now need to know what do you mean by act as a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක you need to know how to explain this one. Because lamai, in the exam you would get this question. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ගොඩක් අහන පිළිගන්න question එකක් තියෙනවා. That is, the examiner is going to ask you, explain the 4 functions of money. ඔක තමයි frequent question එක. ඔයාලා මොකද ලියන්නේ? bullet point 4ක් දානවා, function 4 ලියනවා. But you are not getting the full marks because you need to explain this part. So when it comes to explaining, you need to really explain what do you mean by medium of exchange, right? So you can elaborate in your words. Now, right? මම චුට්ටක් කියලා දෙන්න. ඔයාලා ඔලුවට ගාගන්න. I'm not typing everything in here because එහෙම කරන්න ගියොත් එහෙම ආයේ theory පන්තියක් වෙනවා. So what do you mean by medium of exchange? It acts as the intermediary which is in trade. Trade එකේ මොකද කරන්නේ? මැද intermediary එක වගේ it acts, which is accepted by both the parties, right? That is called medium of exchange in a very simple nutshell. දැන් ඔයාලට මේක මතක නැත්නම් right පොඩි star එකක් දාගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකටද? මම ආයෙ ගිහලා පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන theory note එක. මේ මොකද්ද කිව්වේ කියලා. Right? So that's how you need to keep things in your mind. Right? First one, act as a medium of exchange. Second one, act as a store of value. Right? Again, act as a store of value or a store of wealth. Alamai, what is the right answer? Act as a store of value or a store of wealth. මේ ඔයාලා පොඩි වචන වරද්දන තැන් මම මේ කියන්න දෙන්නේ. මට කියන්න what is the right word? Is it value or wealth? right? Okay, we have two things here. Antagat man can act as a unit of account, right? Act as a unit of account. Can I put here, right? So what do you think? The right one is value or wealth, or else both is right? මොකද උඩ උත්තර? wealth value දෙකම හරිද? පළවෙනි එක, දෙවෙනි එක sorry, act as a store of value or else wealth. Yes. So one thing, both are right, right? වැරදි නැහැ. But I would prefer personally to write it as wealth. ඇයි කියලා හෙව්වොත් මම කෙලින්ම කියන්නම් උත්තරේ teachers guide එකේ තියෙන wealth කියලා. Right? So that is the main reason, and also I would also feel in terms of economics චුට්ටක් දැන් රුපියල් 100ක් ගත්තොත් ඒකේ value එකකට වඩා තියෙන්නේ පොඩි වටිනාකමකට වඩා තියෙන්නේ පොඩි wealth එකක් නේ. So ඒකින්ද දෙකම හරි, but චුට්ටක් prefer කරනවා, I'm preferring to write it as wealth, right? So second one is act as a store of wealth. So what do you mean by this? Very simple. Again, රුපියල් 100 note එකක් දැක්කොත් it means its values, right? It store a wealth of, right, 100 wealth එකක් store කරනවා. That is act as a store of wealth. Third one, act as a unit of account. So what do you mean by act as a unit of account, right? What do you mean by act as a unit of account? Yes. Right, unit of account. So it says unit of account. What do you mean by account? Right, to measure, right? Unit of account. Again, right? Typically in milk and price scenario, right? Changes in value, right? Changes in value can be measured through, right? Can be measured through money. So some call this one as act as a measure of account, or as measure of value, right? Measure of value or as measure of account, unit of account, right? So dekama hariya, measure of value. Hamare method dekena measure of value කියනවා එක නියම. මම ඒක කියන්නේ blue එකේ because teachers guide එකේ තියෙන එහෙම නෙමෙයි. teachers guide එකේ තියෙන act as unit of account. ඒකින්ද මම prefer කරනවා මේකට, but measure of value is also right. Right? මොකක් හරි කියලා value කරන්න you use money, right? That is it. Last one is what? Last one is act as a standard of deferred payments. So what do you mean by deferred payments, right? And act as a standard of deferred payments. They can a simple example is credit payments. Credit එකක් දීලා වැඩේ solve කරගන්න එක. credit එක දුන්නාට පස්සේ ඒක repay කරගන්න පුළුවන් ability is identified as store of, sorry, act as a standard of deferred payments. ඒ කියන්නේ අද මම sale එකක් කරනවා for $100 and I might be able to pay this money maybe around after an year or so. Still $100 is $100. Inflation එකක් වෙන්නේ නැතුව කියන්නේ. So interest charge කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒ $100 is $100. But මට පුළුවන් එකේ after 1 year also pay කරලා දාන්න. That is the usual case. හරි. Again I'm telling you ඔයාලට බැරි මොනවද කියලා. ඔයාලට හැමෝටම පුළුවන් මේ හතර identify කරගන්න. හැබැයි බැරි මොනවාද to explain this one. Right? බැරි මොනවාද to explain this one. Right? ඒක තමයි අතරම ඔයාලට බැරි. right? මෙතනදී explain කියලා. Right? To explain this one. ඉතින් ඒකෙන්ද right now even if you feel like මට මේක answer එකක් ලියන්න බෑ කියලා. answer එකක් ලියන්න බෑ කියලා හිතනොත් then have a little sum up somewhere and keep this in your mind. Look here, I need to learn how to write an answer. Right? Okay, so we have mainly discussed the functions of money, which is basically would be tested than your Excel. Now we are going to talk again more from money, right? The basic concern is the present money. Right? What do you mean present money? Right? Right? So present money. All right. Okay. We have another question, right? Not a question, but a concern, right? So yes, we can divide these four, right, as primary functions and secondary functions also, right? මේ හතර, right? We identified as what? මේ හතරක් තියෙනවා. හතර අපි cluster කරනවා දෙකක්, primary function and secondary function. Tell me what are the primary functions? මේ හතරෙන් මොකද primary functions? දෙක and secondary function දෙක. ඒකේ පොඩි base එකක් තියෙනවා. මම මේ base එකක් කියලා දෙන්නම්. ලොකු එකක් නෙමෙයි, පොඩි එකක් තියෙනවා. මේකත් කියලා දෙන්නම්. But just tell me what are the two out of these four? What two is identified as primary functions and what two is identified as secondary functions? Because that explanation would be helpful in present money also. Can anyone who knows, right? What are the two? There's two classifications are primary and secondary. Tell me, what do you mean by primary function? This is 1 and 2, or is 1 and 3, 1 and 4? Yes. What are the primary functions and what are the secondary functions? Yes. So basically I'm මතක තියාගන්න මේක පොඩි part additional part එක සමහර අය දන්නවා සමහර අය දන්නේ නැහැ. But ඒක ලොකුවට pressure out කරන්න ඕනේ point එකක් නෙමෙයි. But දැනන් ඉන්න what do you mean by this? So basically 1 and 3 is identified as, we have space to write this one. So 1 and 3 is identified as primary functions. And 2 and 3 are identified as secondary functions. Right? 1 and 2, 1 and 3 is primary, 2 and 4 is secondary. So identifying these primary and secondary, now my word is a bit primary. You can look at main function. Secondary, but secondary can look at not main but sub functions. So why we use these, right? Basic right? But we use these primary function and secondary function to explain the different types of money we have in the modern context. Right? So what would happen is in the modern context, we have different types of money. The first one is currency. Right? So we have a little argument whether this is money. Right. So my first question, does currency is identified as perfect money? What do you mean by perfect money? I would also call this one as liquid money. Now someone would argue, okay, look here, what is liquid? I would call this again as a concept called liquidity. Right. What do you mean by liquidity? Liquid money can mean සල්ලි වතුර වෙලා නෙමෙයි, right? සල්ලි වතුර වගේ තමයි වියදම් වෙන්න ගත්තාම ඒක නෙමෙයි. What do you mean by liquidity? ඒක කියන්නේ මේ මොකක් හරි දීර්ඝ જાතියක් නෙමෙයි, right? What do you mean by liquidity? Right? What do you mean by liquidity? Yes. Liquidity is what? It is an ability. Ability to do what? වියදම් කරන්න පුළුවන් එක නෙමෙයි. වියදම් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕන සල්ලියක්. Right? Liquidity means yes, it's the ability to convert into cash කියලා අපි ගමුකෝ. Right? Ability to convert into cash. හැබැයි this is the perfect answer. This is not the perfect answer because right or else cash as අපි පොඩ්ඩක් මේක ලියමු medium of exchange as a perfect medium of exchange, right? But when you convert, right, you also can't have but when you convert, right, you can't have any other additional cost. ඔයා මේක convert කරද්දි වෙන කිසිම additional cost එකක් තියෙන්න බෑ. Additional cost එකක් කියලා නම් මෙතන හිතන්න එපා මේ සල්ලිම කියලා. This additional cost can be what? Your time. Yes, money, cash loss can be also part. Cash loss or else money, sorry, your time, right? Those are the additional costs. Time එක delay වෙනවා නම් it's also additional cost because අපි දන්නනේ මොකද කාලය රන් හා සමානයි. So yes, it's there in economics we have an opportunity cost. So this is called liquidity. So now what am I doing? Is currency a perfect money, a perfect liquid money? Yes or no? Currency කියන්නේ perfect money එකක්ද නැද්ද? Yes, currency is a perfect money. Ramai, that's why currency has all these primary and secondary functions also. Currency කියන දෙයට තමයි to be eligible for perfect money, perfect liquid money, we assume it as what? Okay, මේක hierarchy එකක් තියෙනවා. මුලින්ම තියෙන්න ඕනේ primary functions ටික. ඊට පස්සේ secondary functions තිබ්බට කමක් නැහැ. මේ හතරම තියෙනවා නම් we call it as perfect money. හැබැයි මේකේ සමහර වෙලාවට හතරම නැහැ. දෙකක් විතරක් තියෙනවා, තුනක් තියෙනවා, right? So in that scenario we identify what whether this is perfect money or not. අපි ඉස්සරහට යද්දී තේරෙනවා ඒක perfect money නෙමෙයි. Why? We are missing a part in here. Right? That is why we identify these specifications as primary and secondary in here, but it has no major effect on your functions of money. හතරම තියෙනවා. හැබැයි සමහර වෙලාවට පොඩ්ඩක් primary එක තියෙනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම primary තියෙන්න ඕන. Secondary එකෙන් එකක් හරි දෙකක් හරි තිබ්බට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. You consider it as money, but it is might not be perfect money. Right? Second one, bank money. My simple question, does a savings account capture under bank money? Savings account එකක් bank money වෙනවද නැද්ද? Yes or no? Savings account එක. ඔයාගේ savings account එක right ඔයාලා I think දැන් 16 plus ද 17 plus ද 18 plus ද සමහර 18 plus නේ. So some 16 plus. එතකොට some 17 plus. So for you sometimes you have a savings account, right? ඔයාලට savings account එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. So savings account, right, is coming under perfect money or not? It's coming under bank money. That's my first question. So first question is my savings account is not coming under bank money. Bank money එකේ savings account එක නැහැ. මොනවාද තියෙන්නේ? You only have your current account. Right. In economics, what do we call current account as? මේ BS lesson එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක. Management lesson එකක් නෙමෙයි. අපි current account use කරන්නේ නැහැ. In economics, what do we call current account as? Current account එක කියන්නේ මොකද තමයි check එකෙන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඕනම account එකක් which call current account, right? What do we call in economics current accounts? What is the synonym or is the economic jargon? Yes, current account or else we call this one as what? Demand deposit. So in your exam I would love you writing this answer of demand deposits rather than a current account. So now simple question again. Bank money or is current account? Is it perfect liquid money or is not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Hurry it again. Yes or no? Are we identifying it as liquid money? අපි කොහොමද capture කරන්නේ ඒක? පොඩ්ඩක් ආගිය කරලා බලන්න. Does it has an additional cost? බක්කරි වලට expense එකක් කරන්න ඕන. expense එකක් කරන්න ඕන වුණාම ඔයාට check එක clear වැඩේ settle කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් cashම දෙන්න ඕනේද? දැන් ගොඩක් අය සමහර අය කියනවා check පිළිගන්නේ නැහැ. ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් ඒ වගේ මිනිස්සුනේ ඉන්නේ. check එක දෙනවා සල්ලි නැහැ. check එක disown වෙනවා. ඒතකොට සල්ලි නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ පස්සෙන් යන්න ඕනේ ආයෙ සල්ලි දෙන්න කියලා. ඒකින්ද ලංකාවේ check ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ගන්න කැමති නැහැ. But usually, right, we assume your bank money is also not fully perfect, but it is like almost perfect, right? So we identify what? We identify bank money also in this cluster. Then මට කියන්න, right? මේ දෙක එකතු වුණා. Currency and bank money. We call these two as one special name in money supply. අපි දැන් මේ division කන්තියක් කරන්නේ හරිද? මම හැමතැනින්ම link කරනවා වලට. මට කියන්න, when we include currency and bank money, we call it a special name. What is this special name called? Yes? Yeah, right? This is called what? This is in what? In මොකක්ද මේ? M1. අපි මේකට පස්සේ එමු M1 කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා පස්සේ එමු. but පොඩ්ඩක් මේක short note එක mind map එක ලස්සන කරන්න ඕනේ නේද? හැමතැනින්ම අපි link එක connect කරගමු. This is called M1. Why we call M1? Because this is your perfect money in the market. Right? මේක කවුරු ආගිය ගන්නවා මේක perfect නෑ නේ කියලා. But in economics we believe it is almost perfect. ඒ කියන්නේ එතනමයි තියෙන්නේ. චුට්ටක් වෙනස් නෑ. ඔයාට රුපියල් 100ක් දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් but check එකක් දෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. දීලා එකමද මේ ෆන්ක්ෂන් හතරම කරගන්න පුළුවන්. කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. right? ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු කෙනා check දෙන්න එපා කියලා. Other than that මේ හතර ඒ විදිහටම කරගන්න පුළුවන්. right? Because we know checks can be endorsed and you can give to another person, right? check එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. check එක ඔයා ගන්නවා. ඔයාට එපා නම් ඔයා check එක වෙන කෙනෙක්ට දෙනවා. දැන් රුපියල් 100ක් එකනේ කරන්නේ. රුපියල් 100 මගෙන් ගන්නවා. sorry මට දෙනවා මම ඒක වෙන කෙනෙක්ට දෙනවා. The same thing happens with the check. You give me 100 check, 100 rupee check, I'll be giving it to someone else. ඒකේ details තියෙනවා ගියාට පස්සේ crossing කරනවා ගොඩක් අතන්දර තියෙනවා but in terms of general knowledge we believe it M1 because both have perfect liquidity. තේරුණාද? ඇයි අපි මේක M1 කියලා ගන්නෙ කියලා? අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු. Third one is near money. Now tell me what are the inclusions in near money? මොනවද ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ? near money එකක් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? What do we can find in near money? Inside near money? Yes? Yes. So this have what? You have savings account, your fixed deposits, ඔක්කොම එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. අපි දැන් economic වචන පාවිච්චි කරමු. හරිද? So we have first part called time and saving deposits. Time deposits and savings deposits. Time deposit එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද ළමයි? Fixed deposit එකක්. Saving deposit එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Saving deposit එකක්, right? So basically we capture this as time and saving deposit. Then we have what? Then we have all these treasury bills and government securities, right? Would also be captured under near money, right? Now my simple question, does it calculate as perfect money or not? Does it capture under perfect money or not? Yes. Yes, I mean no, it is not. Right? So තවත් ඕනනම් ඉස්සරහට යනවා නම් මේකෙන් අපිට select කරන්න පුළුවන් M2, right? M2 comes only with this one, but make a bit of complex in here, right? Water methane M2 identify කරන්න යන්න නැතුව ඉන්නවා because methane M2 ගන්න එක පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි complex වෙන්න පුළුවන් හින්දා, right? හරි. Next one, it is not included in the near money. හරි, දැන් මට කියන්න the reason why it is not included in this, why it is not, ඇයි මේක included නැත්තේ near money වලට, sorry perfect money වලට, why it is not included, the reason behind why this is not included as perfect money, right? The reason why it is not included. Yes. Right. ඔන්න දැන් ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා why near money is not a medium of exchange. Look, medium of exchange is coming under your primary functions. So primary function එකක් නැත්තම් can we call it as perfect, right? Can we call it as perfect money, right? So that is where you really have these concerns of primary and secondary. Other than that, there is no other help or else benefit. So මතක තියාගන්න, I'm not writing in here near money is not calculated or අපි ලියමු because it is basically a store of value, right? Because you can't use as a medium of exchange. Right? What is make a medium of exchange එක විදිහට use කරන්න බෑ. What a store of value, right? Store of value එතකොට act as a medium measure of value කරන්න බෑ. අපිට ඇත්තට මේ primary functions දෙකම කරන්න බෑ. But main one is what අපිට medium of exchange එක විදිහට use කරන්නම බෑ. අපිට කවුරුත් treasury bill එකේ කඩේ බඩු ගන්න බෑනේ නේද? right? අපිට ඒක ගන්න බෑ. හරි. Fourth one is money subsidies. Right? What are the inclusions in money substitutes? What do we include in here? Money substitutes. Another include කරන්නේ money substitutes වල. Yes, we have a credit card and debit card. Now, by any chance, if you don't know what's the difference between credit card and debit card, class එකෙන් පස්සේ Google හරි කරන්න නැත්නම් note එකක් හරි බලලා ඒක නගන්න. What's the difference between credit card and debit card? So simply credit card එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? You don't have to have an account. You just take money from the bank. මට අපේ ණයක් දෙන්න මම ඔයාලට පස්සේ ගෙවන්නම්. Debit card is where you use your own money. That's the main difference, huh? Right? Okay. Now a simple question. Do we include credit cards as money? Do we include credit cards as money? Yes or no? Lamai, we don't use. Tell me why don't we use? Hey, credit card එක අපි use කරන්නේ නැත්තේ. ඒක medium of exchange එකක් නේ. Medium of exchange එකක් නේ. Right? ඇයි අපි use කරන්නේ නැත්තේ? ඇයි credit card එකෙන් බැරි එක අපිට මේ money කියලා use කරන්න? ඒක medium of exchange එකක්. Common acceptance? No. Common acceptance එක සාමාන්‍ය credit card එකක් කියන්නේ අපේ ලංකාවේ පොඩ්ඩක් මම කියවනේ අපිට තාක්ෂණය මතින් පොඩ්ඩක් පල් හැංගින්නේ because of that it is not commonly accepted. But credit card එකක් හැමදාම accept කරන්න ඕන අපේ machines නැහැ. And Sri Lankan context we have a 3% charge. ඔයාලා දන්නවා ඇති. seller කෙනෙක්ට 3% charge වෙනවා. දැන් ඔයාලා credit card එකෙන් රුපියල් 100ක එකක් ගත්තොත් ළමයි රුපියල් 3ක් යන්නේ bank එකට. bank එකට කියන්නේ master card නම් master card දෙන part එකක් කරනවා, bank එකට part එකක් කරනවා. It goes like that. So රුපියල් 3ක් යනවා. කියන්නේ 3% යනවා. So that's why people are telling card ගන්න නෑ මහත්තයා කියලා. Because It's having additional cost on the vendor, not on the consumer, right? So basically, talking again, it has a medium of exchange, but it doesn't have a very important fact in here. මොකක්ද නැත්තේ? So it has a wealth name. දැන් with the credit card එක දැන් මගේ credit card එක තියෙනවා නම් මගේ ඒකේ account එකේ balance එකක් තියෙනවා. මට wealth එකක් තියෙනවා ඒකේ. store of wealth එකකුත් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මොකක්ද නැත්තේ මගේ ඇත්තටම? right? පළවෙනි ඔය කතන්දර ගොඩක් කියනවා මට ඔතනින් නෙමෙයි ඕනේ. I want it from here. right? I want it from here. ඔයාලා කියන points හරි. මගේ සල්ලි නෙමෙයි මගේ account එකේ සල්ලි නෙමෙයි liability එකක් yes. right? My simple question is, right? But හිතලා බලන්න. Can you measure a value through credit card? Credit card can you measure a value? Yes or no? Credit card එක දීලා කියලා හිතන්නකො රුපියල් 100ක් කියලා ගහලා තියෙනවා. right? රුපියල් 100ක් කියලා ගහලා තියෙන තැනක ඔයාට ගිහලා credit card එක මෙහෙම දෙන්න පුළුවන්. මගේ credit card එක හිතන්නකො මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නම් ඕන. right? So you can see, right? This is my credit card. Then product එක mark තියෙනවා shelf එකේ. මම මේක ගිහලා මෙහෙම දුන්නොත්. right? ඔයා cashier නම් do you know how much this value? right? ඔයාට මේක value ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේකෙන් credit card එකේ value ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? මට මේ product එක ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. මම ඔයාලට practical example එකක් කියන්න ළමයි. right? මට වෙච්ච දෙයක්ම ළමයි. So I wanted to buy a පොඩි luxury product එකක් ගන්න ඕන. right? I wanted to buy a luxury product. දැන් චුට්ටක් ගන්න. හරි මම පොඩි ළමයින්ට තාම පොඩි ළමයි කියන්නේ පොඩි නෑ but still like in terms of the financial product I'm පොඩ්ඩක් starting budding scene එකේ ඉන්නේ. So මට පොඩ luxury product එකක් ගන්න ඕන. ඉතින් මම හිතුවා credit card එකෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. So I went to there, right? I went and I okay මට මේක ගන්න ඕනේ. මට මේක දෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙන්න. Okay දෙන්න කියලා කිව්වා. So what happened is මම ඒක දුන්නා. right? So transaction එක ඔන්න වෙනවා. මම product එක දැන් උතන cashier එක ගාව තියෙනවා. මම ඔන්න card එකක් දුන්නා. දැන් එයා හිතනවා හරි හරි ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔන්න act as a medium of exchange. හැබැයි he has a doubt what? මගේ credit limit එක ඇතිද? Whether to buy this product. මට product එක ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? right? credit card එක කොහෙවත් ළමයි ගහලා නැහැ. measure of value එක. අපිට value එකක් measure කරගන්න බෑ. credit card එකකින් value එකක් නෙමෙයි but currency එකකින් පුළුවන් නේද? ඔයා රුපියල් 100 note එකක් අරන් ගිහලා මෙහෙම හොල්ලවල අරන් ගියන්න. right? කඩේ කා ගන්නවා මේ මොනසයා ගාව රුපියල් 100යි that you can buy. ඒක අපි ගත්ත ගමන් දන්නා you can buy. But in terms of a credit card, yes, you have all other reasons, but specifically you don't have this one primary function of measure of value. So measure කරන්න අමාරුයි, right? That is why, right? That is why we have these functions of primary and secondary. ඒකට ඔයාලා උත්තරේ ලියද්දි ළමයි චුට්ටක් හොඳට articulate කරන්න. ඔයාලා කියලා දෙන points ඔක්කොමත් කියන්න. Plus tell me primary function එක missing. And also medium of exchange එක again as some of you tell මේ හැමතැනම medium of exchange එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. credit card machine එකක් තියෙන්නේ ඕනේ නේද? right? එතකොට ඒක ගන්නත් බෑ. ඉතින් මට කතාව back to going to that story මට ගන්න බැරි වුණා. මගේ credit limit එක මදි. right? මමත් පස්සේ දැනගත්තේ මේ මම හිතුවා මුලින්ම මමත් දන්නේ නැහැ අපිත් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ right? මේ back in like years මම හිතුවා දැන් installment තියෙනවා ළමයි. මම හිතුවා installment එක මාසෙට වෙන්නේ around 2000 යි. ඉතින් මම හිතුවා රුපියල් 2000 වඩා credit card එකේ credit limit එක තියෙනවා so that I can buy it. But actually it is never the case. product එක ලක්ෂ 2යි නම් මුලින්ම මම ලක්ෂ 2ක credit card එකෙන් ගෙවන්න ඕන. ඊට පස්සේ I'm converting it as a monthly installment payment. So I don't have that unit of account and again no medium of exchange. So that's why credit cards, debit cards are not being basically used, right? So debit card is also like is not used as perfect money, right? So we call these two as what? Money substitutes. Substitute එක කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ආදේශකයක්. So මේ වචනේම කියනවා if it is a substitute can it be money? right? ඒක substitute එකක් නම් can it be money? like simple example butter and margarine. ඔයාට butter කන්න කියලා ડોක්ටර් කියනවා. මම ඔයාට margarine ගෙනත් දුන්නොත් හරියනවද? right? So it's a substitute, right? It's never gonna work. So you don't have, right? It can't be used, right? So it can't be used because you have multiple reasons. Or again reasons of comedian, right? So you can write the main one is what? Not fully fulfilling the main four functions. Right? The main එක තමයි මොකද ළමයි? Right? Functions හතරම මේ debit card credit card ගත්තම හතරම එක එක time වල එක එක විදියට not using. That is why it is not. Then you can use this is temporary. Right? Then we have cost involved. Right? Man give a perfect නම් cost එකක් නෑ. දැන් මම කියවනේ 3% charge එකක් තියෙනවා. You have a cost involved and you have sometimes in credit card you have obligation. This is in credit card, only credit. Obligation එකක් තියෙන credit එකේ විතරයි. Right? So those are the main four main couple of what we call this seasons, right? And again you have an obligation limit එකක් එනවා. මෙතනත් you have a limit also. Right? For the limit එකකුත් credit limit එකකුත් ගන්න ඒකෙන් it is not being used. Next one, fifth one is e-money. So what are the inclusions in e-money? E-money ka මොනවද කියන්නේ? Okay, one simple question, why it is temporary, right? Temporary ayila, right? I'll tell you a simple example. Temporary debit card එකක් වගේව තියෙනවා, right? What would happen if debit card expires? හැමෝම debit card එකක් මරන් බලන්න debit card එකේ ඔයාලට පේනවා ඇති මේ පොඩි පන්තියක් වගේ, right? BS class එකක් වගේ. Debit card එකේ you might have which I'm not pretty sure you can see this one. මෙතන තියෙනවා පොඩි expiry date එකක්. Let's look here. මෙතන ඇඟිල්ලම I'm not pretty good with this one. So you have an expiry date ළමයි. So what would happen if it expires? It's temporary. කොච්චර card එකක් තිබ්බත් ඔයාගේ account එකේ කොච්චර salary තිබ්බත් you can't use it. It's expired, right? So every card will have an either it's debit or credit. You have an expiry period. Right. The other one, e-money. What are the components of e-money? Right? Do we include credit card and debit card also in e-money? Yes or no? Credit cards and debit cards is also in e-money? Yes. We basically we also use these two also. These dekas we use karna. Right? So I write it as credit and debit. And also we have all these easy cash, M cash, eva gevat okkoma එනවා. Right? Then we have all these modern stuff, right? Which is we call this one as these bitcoins, dogecoins, all these electronic coins, right? I write it as electronic coins. Right? Bitcoins, Binance, over here, right? Those are electronic money. Again, do we include these all of them in perfect money? Yes or no? Do we include them? We don't include them. If someone asks you why don't you include them, then most of the time these are the same reasons for them also. Right? So these are the main key concerns or as determinants, but we really need to focus on money. Initial money part. Money කියන්නේ මොනවාද? ඒ introduction එක තමයි මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ. Now moving forward, we are going to discuss about money demand and money supply specifically, and ඊට පස්සේ the lesson would be done for the day. So let's try to cover as much as we could. Right? Okay, we have yes. Let's figure out how far we could do today. And the remaining would be covered through the paper and also through the next class, right? Okay, if anyone want to have a snap, feel free to have a snap. Right? Okay. Right. Okay. So the most important part and the hard part also, which is we are going to discuss two important concerns, which is on one hand side, which is called the money demand. And on the other hand side, we have money supply. Right? Okay. Starting on money demand, very simple. I'll keeping things very short. What do you mean by money demand? The word itself says how much of a demand you make for money. The method question comes, what do you mean by money demand in that terms? Right? Money demand can you demand for money, but demand for money for what? For what you need to know. ඔයා සල්ලි demand කරනවා. Demand කරන්නේ මොකටද? පොකට් එකේ දාලා තියා ගන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් මෙට්ටි උස්සලා ඇඳයට දා ගන්න හරි ඔය ඉස්සර තිබ්බ මොකක්ද අපි කියන්නේ මේ පෙට්ටගාමේ දාලා තියා ගන්න හරි you require money, you ask money, that is called money demand. Now the question is why you ask money, right? What are the reasons? What reasons? Tell me, what are the reasons you ask for money? Money demand is our exam mein hana, what are the reasons? What are the reasons for money demand? Yes, if someone asks you what are the reasons, purpose, if someone asks you motive, මේ ඔක්කොම synonym තමයි, right? මේ ඔක්කොගෙම කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මොනවාද? එකම දේ, right? පැටලෙන්න එපා, කලබල වෙන්න එපා. exam එකේ reasons ඇහුවත්, purpose ඇහුවත්, motives ඇහුවත් මේ ඔක්කොම එකයි. හරිද? වැරද්දක් නැහැ. Okay. We have three. Yes, first one is what? Transaction or else transactionary. Transaction motive. Then we have what? Right? Precautionary motive or else and the last one is speculative motive. Right? So what do you mean by transaction motive? Again, transaction motive කරන්න මොකක්ද කියලා හොඳට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න මොකක්ද මේකේ definition එකේ මේක මොකක්ද explanation එක. But I'll tell you in simple terms. ඔළුවට දාගන්න. Transaction motive means simply you are keeping money in your pocket. Exam එකේ pocket කියන්න එපා. Money in hand, right? Simply to use in your day-to-day transactions. Day-to-day transactions කරන්න තමයි ළමයි සල්ලි ළඟ තියාගන්න. Now again I have a question. Why you need to keep money? Why you need to keep money in your pocket, right? Without you keeping money in your bank. මට කියන්න transaction motive එකයි precautionary motive එකයි දෙකේම තියෙන එකම waste එක. What do you mean by precautionary motive? Emergency එකක් වුණොත් සල්ලි ඕනේ. නේද? Emergency එකක් වුණොත් සල්ලි ඕනේ. ඒකයි you are keeping it in your hand. Money at hand or else money at cash, right? So අපි මේකට කියනවා මේ අනිත් පැත්තෙන් මේ මොකක්ද මේ සල්ලි කොච්චර කතේ තියා ගන්නවා, right? That is also identified as money at hand, right? So my simple question is why you need to keep money in your hand, right? Why you need to keep money in your hand or else why you need to keep liquid money in your hand? ඇයි අතේ සල්ලි තියා ගන්න ඕනේ? We have a special reason for this. ඇයි මේ දෙකේ අපේ සල්ලි තියා ගන්න ඕනේ? ඒකයි මම අහන්නේ. මේකේ ඔයාලා අහන්නේ ඇයි why you need to keep for both of these why you need to again keep money? ඇයි සල්ලි තියා ගන්න? දැන් කෙලින්ට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලා කටපාඩම් කරන් තියලා මොකද ඉන්කම් එක වැඩි වෙද්දි මේක වැඩි වෙනවා. හරි මම ඒක දන්නවා. මම අහන්නේ ඇයි අතේ තියා ගන්න ඕනේ? Because right you have a mismatch, right? You have a mismatch on what and what? Mismatch එක ගැන ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති ඇයි? right? You have a mismatch on what? Right? Yes, yes, the liquidity is perfect. I get you, but the mismatch is there, right? On the day you receive money, right? The day you receive money, right? You can look at the salary, income, or else you can call this one as the day you receive your income. Income, and the day you pay for the expense. Expense or else the emergency situation capital, right? There we have a mismatch. Okay, practically done now. What income come in? I'm a private sector worker, right? I'm not a teacher. I'm a teacher anyway, right? So I'm a private sector worker. So my salary was in 25th, right? Good akar wala amma taatala private sector kinana good dinetta salary drop tenne on 25th. 25th tama salary watenne. But do you make all the purchases, all the expenses purchases everyone in 25th? 25th तो अकरन. Have them 25th करना ना 26 करना, first करना, it was 10, it goes like that. So you have a mismatch in between these two. The day you receive money or the day you get your income and the day you expend money, the day you spend money. So to help this mismatch, to solve this mismatch, right? To solve this mismatch, you have money demand. You keep money in your hand. Right? ඔක්කොම කියලා බැංකුවේ දාන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. Because මේකේ පොඩි තියෙනවා. ඔයාලට බැංකුවට හැම්බෙන්න බෑ. Right? ඒකින්ද you have a different mismatch. ඒකින්ද you keep money in your hand. Based on transaction motive and precautionary motive. Speculate එකකින් මම ආයෙ ආදා කරනවා why කියලා අපි එතකොට මේ වගේ identify කරගමු. But the real logic is you have a little mismatch. පොඩි mismatch එකක් තියෙනවා. හරි. Again, turning this into more technical background, we can call, you can see this space. Yes, money demand, right, is a function of what? Money demand is a function of what? Right? This is I'm talking on transaction motive. Money demand, right? Again, money demand on the transaction motive. Money demand, right, on the transaction motive is all to make a payment in the some would argue, some would write like this: money demand on transaction motive. Right? This is also right. Right? On is a function of y or else yd. Is it y or else yd? Money demand for transaction motive is a function of, is depending on your income or else your disposable income. Madam का हरी मुत्तरे क्या है? हरी मुत्तरे income or disposable income? ළමයි මේ දෙකම හරි වැරද්දක් නෑ. හරිද? It can be used as income or disposable income. අපි මෙතන disposable income කියන එක use කරන්නේ නැත්තේ ඇයි? අපි ගොඩක් අයට මේක අපි ඉස්කෝලේ ඉගෙන ගන්නත් ඇති ඒක y කියලා තමයි දාන්නේ. yd දානවා වැරද්දක් නෑ. ඇයි අපි මෙතන yd දාන්නේ නැත්තේ? Because we assume other things are remain constant. ඇයි දැන් මේ වෙන පාඩම වල ළමයි macro නෙවෙයිනේ. macro එකට ගියාම තමයි tax තියනවා කියලා හැම වෙලේම කවුරු හරි කියන්නේ ලොක්කිය tax එකක් තියනවා කියලා. හැබැයි මෙතනට අපොම we assume other things are remain constant and we assume there is no tax. Right? That's why we use y. But yd තමයි ඇත්තම කොත් හරිම උත්තරේ disposable part, right? Okay, so assuming this, now let's come into precautionary motive. Money demand on precautionary motive, or else money demand on precautionary motive. This is a function of what? Yes, this is also a function of your income. So having said that, we could see behavior. So we can draw two specific graphs having the same what? Having the same shape, same kind of a thing. It goes like this. Money demand for transaction motive. This is income, right? Okay. This is your money demand. Right. This is L1, this is L2, Y1 and Y2. What do you mean by L1 and L2? What do you mean by L? මොකක්ද මේ L කියන්නේ? ආලමයි මොකක්ද මේ L අකුර කියන්නේ? අපි සාමාන්‍ය graph එක අදීදී මෙතන MD කියලා දාන්නේ අපි මේකට L කියලා දානවා. මොකක්ද මේ L කියන්නේ? මේ graph එක දැකලා දෙන්නේ මේ graph එක අපි දාන්නේ L1 L2 කියලා. MD1 MD2 එහෙම දාන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. අපි දාන්නේ L1 and L2 කියලා. මොකක්ද මේ L1 and L2 කියන්නේ? L කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What do you mean by L? මොකක්ද L කියන්නේ? No, it is not level of income. Level of income is Y. Y1, Y2 is income, right? Y means income. Right? Yes, this is money demand, but we use a separate name as L. Right? තමයි මේකට අපි කියනවා right මේ L කියන්නේ actually your liquidity කියන part එක. right? your liquidity කියන එකට මේ L අකුර අපි use කරන්නේ. හැබැයි මේකෙන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? money at hand. Right. අතේ සල්ලි කියත් තියෙනවා. අතේ සල්ලි money at hand. ඒකට අපි කියනවා ඔගේ liquid money. Level of liquidity කිව්වොත් වැරද්දක් නැහැ. Level of liquidity, right? Liquidity level කිව්වොත් වැරද්දක් නැහැ. Right? That is why we use අපි සාමාන්‍ය L කියන්නේ money demand කියන්නේ නැහැ. money demand කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ඒක process එකක් නේ. demand කරනවා. කොච්චරක් අතේ සල්ලි තියෙනවද? That is called L. තේරෙනවද? අපි හිතන්නකො demand supply equation එක demand curve එක අඳිනකො demand curve එක අඳව you have quantity demand and price. demand කියලා part එකක් කොහෙවත් නැහැ. The same context. money demand කියලා නැහැ. අපිට තියෙන අතේ සල්ලි කොච්චරක් තියෙනවා. right? ඒකයි අපි L use කරන්නේ. පොඩි terms ඔය ඉතින් ගණන් ගන්න එපා. හරි. speculative motive නෙමෙයි. ඒක පොඩ්ඩක්. අවුල් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් අයින් කරමු. speculative මෙන්න මේකට ගමු. So in your precautionary motive, also the same context. Your money demand for precautionary motive, or else money demand for precautionary motive, money demand for precautionary your income, Y1, Y2, L1, L2, right? Hurry. So this is the simple scenario of precautionary and transaction. No, this is hurry. Then the what do you mean by speculative money demand? What do you mean by speculative money demand? What is the definition? What do you mean by speculative money demand? What is speculative money demand? अब इटे मसला था करूँ Y part है. But इस तरह क्या? What do you mean by speculative money demand? Transaction precautionary makes sense. I know you know it, right? What do you mean by speculative money demand? Yes. හරි මම දෙක තුනක් කියනවා ඔයාලා මට කියන්න එක හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. So මට ආපු උත්තරය keeping money in assets. Keeping money in assets. Is it a right definition? Speculative money demand. Okay, I've got the perfect answer. Right? So මතක තියාගන්න, right? Yes, now I'm getting answers. Now my speculative money demand is first thing you need to know where you held your cash. සල්ලි කොතනද තියෙන්නේ speculative money demand එකේ? සල්ලි තියෙන්නේ bonds වලවත් වෙන assets වලවත් නෙමෙයි සල්ලි කොතනද තියෙන්නේ? සල්ලි තියෙන්නේ අතේ. Right? So speculative money demand is the demand for money in hand or else holding money balances, right? Demand for money demand කියනවා. You know, I mean the holding money balances කියන්නේ. Holding money balances for ඔන්න එනවා for part එක. For කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේක y part එක. Why? ඇයි අද සල්ලි තියාගන්නේ? Speculative motive එකේ ඇයි සල්ලි අතේ තියාගන්නේ? Why you keep money like in here? මෙතන ඉන්නේ පිටි mismatch එකක් තිබ්බා. ඒක අපිට සල්ලි තියාගත්තේ. අපිට සමහර දවසට income එක කෙනෙක් වෙලාවක කණ්ඩ බොණ්ඩ වෙනවා. That is why you held money. But now why you held money in speculative? Why you held it? To what? To what? To මොකක්ද උත්තරේ? ඇයි සල්ලි අතේ තියාගන්නේ? To gain future monetary benefit. Right? Future monetary benefit. මේ monetary benefit එන්නේ කොහමද? invest කරලා වෙන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් business start කරලා වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒකට මොකක් හරි ඕන පැත්තක්. අපි දන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. හැබැයි gaining future monetary benefit. අපි නිකන් simple terms profit වගේ දේවල්. right? profit වගේ දේවල්. හැබැයි මේක මම පොඩ්ඩක් කැමති නෑ වචනේ profit කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒකින්ද ලියන්න එපා. ඔයාලා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන නම් profit කියලා ලියන්න. but ඒක benefit එකක් නෙමෙයි. profit එකක්වත් නෙමෙයි. හිතන්න simple example. What for the commission that come in, it's not a profit, but still it's a monetary benefit to gain future monetary benefits. So if you are looking at future monetary benefits, right, then you have an opportunity cost for this. Holding money balances in your hand, you have an opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost of holding money balances in your hand? What is the opportunity cost of holding money balances in your hand? What is the opportunity cost? Yes, your opportunity cost is what? It is interest. Right? So now let's come into the agreement. Right? What would happen if your interest is high? I'll use interest as R, the usual term we use R. If R is high, up can increase, high. But if your R is high, then if your R is high, what would happen? Your opportunity cost would be high. Right? Then what would happen? When your opportunity cost is high, would you keep money for speculative purpose, right? Money demand for speculative purpose, right? Or else your liquid money in hand. This is going to increase or decrease. What would happen if your interest rates are high in the market, right? Opportunity cost would increase, and your money supply, or else, sorry, your money demand in the speculative motive would decrease. Right? Make a lamai adu venuma. Api onne anik පැත්තට ලේසි නේ. High එක නෙවෙයි low. First low. Now your opportunity cost is comparatively coming down. With this, what will happen? Your money demand for speculative purpose, or else your liquid money in hand will go up. Right? So having said that, we can derive a simple funnel like this. Your money demand for speculative purpose is a function of your interest rate. Right? It's a funnel like this. Then, in simple terms, right? So this shows, right? This shows a downward slope in demand curve, but we will basically write it like this, right? So this is your money demand for speculative purpose. Money demand for speculative purpose. Right? Got it? Okay, we have a question, right? We have a question, right? That question is, it says, when interest rate is low, right? When interest rate is, okay, hold on a second, right? This is not income. This is what, right? This is what? This is the other way around. Right? Usually we put interest rate in here. Normally interest rate because income is dominant. Income is but literally, theoretically in usually we have dominant factors and dominance dominant. So make context the dominant is your money demand. Right? So we use it as quantity. And this is R1, R2, quantity 1 and quantity 2. So the simple question there is, when interest rate is low, right, people would invest more. Now the argument comes is, money demand extend for investments. Interest rate if interest rate is high, your opportunity cost would be high and your money demand would be low. This means what? This means you are going to put money in your what? You are going to put money in your bank. Right? Interest rate market ready now. Right? Interest rate market ready now. Opportunity cost ready invest. Now you go and invest. right? Your investments would go stay. දැන් හරි තමයි interest rate එක වැඩි නම් interest rate එක වැඩි නම් අතේ සල්ලි ගොඩක් තියාගන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ඔක්කොම ගිහින් invest කරනවා. හැබැයි if in the market if the interest rate is low you are keeping more money in your hand without investing. මොකද කරන්නේ? invest කරන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් interest rate එක අඩු නම් මොකද කරන්නේ? invest කරන්නේ නැහැ. සල්ලි අතේ තියාගන්න පොඩි වැඩක් invest කරන්නේ. You keep everything in your hand and then your investment will drop out. දැන් මෙතන තමයි මේ investment කියන්නේ අපි අර business අපි macro වල කතා කරපු investments නෙමෙයි. මේ මොකද්ද මේ investment කියන්නේ? ගොඩක් කරාට financial instruments. අපි දැන් ඉන්නේ money and banking. පටල ගන්න එපා. මේ මෙතන investment එකක් කියන්නේ right? You are investing money in treasury bills, bank accounts. ඉන්නේ ඒ වලටයි දාන්නේ. මේ කියලා business invest කරන එක නෙමෙයි. right? පටල ගන්න එපා කියනවා. මේ වෙන lesson එකක්. අපි මෙතනදී කතා කරන්නේ monetary terms, financial instruments. අපි ඒව ගැන කතා කරමු. එතකොට මේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? අතේ සල්ලි තියාගන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා ගිහිල්ලා මොකද කරන්නේ? ඔක්කොම ගිහිල්ලා බෑන්ක් එකට දාන්න. ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට්ස් වැඩි වෙනවා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ලෝන් නම් මොකද කරන්නේ? ඔයා බෑන්ක් එකට දාන්න යන්නෙත් නැහැ. treasury bills වලට දාන්න යන්නෙත් නැහැ. අතේ සල්ලි තියාගන්නවා. Why? You are hoping that one day the interest rates would go up. Then you can invest money, right, and earn a good return. ඕක තමයි logic එක. මේ දෙක පටල ගන්න එපා. money in hand කියන්නේ සල්ලි අතේ තියා ගන්න ගන්න. investments කියන්නේ ඔක අනිත් පැත්ත. හිතන්න simple example හිතන්න වාගේ income එක. income is 1000 කියලා. මේ හිතන්න මේ අපි මේක ගැන විතරයි focus කරන්නේ. නැත්තම් පටල ගන්න එපා. Receiving a speculative money example එක. හිතන්න your total income or else අපි ගමු මේකට wealth. Your total wealth එහෙම නැත්නම් your total අපි ගමු money supply එක මෙච්චරයි කියලා wealth කියලා ගන්නවා මේක පොඩ්ඩක්. Your wealth is 1000. Now assuming you only have one motive එක motive එකයි නම් තියෙන්නේ ළමයි you have two options to do this with money. මේ money එක කරන්න පුළුවන් විදි දෙකයි තියෙන්නේ. මොකක්ද පළවෙනි විදිය? Either you can keep money in your hand for speculative purpose. Else not, you can invest in financial instruments. මේක තමයි මේ market එක. financial market එකේ ඔක තමයි වෙන්නේ. right? So what is the determinant, right, which determine whether you keep money or else whether you invest is what? Is your rate of interest. This determines whether you are keeping money in hand or whether you are keeping or whether you are investing, right? So very simple example, if R is high, maybe 20% is held as money and maybe 80% is invested. And if R is low, maybe 20% is invested and 80% would be put in the market. මේක තමයි logic එක. right? මේ investment කියලා මෙතන මේ කියන්නේ තමයි financial instruments. I don't know whether you can see this one is very minute but අපිට තියාගන්න මේ මෙතන කියන්නේ සල්ලි interest rate එක අඩුයි නම් සල්ලි ගොඩක් loan ගොඩක් අරගෙන හරිද loans ගොඩක් අරගෙන ඔයා ගිහිල්ලා ඒක මේ මොකද්ද මේ business වලට දානවා කියන. ඒ ideology එක නෙමෙයි මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ. right? We are not discussing something like that. We are discussing on the financial instruments perspective. I hope the doubt is clarified. Okay, so if anyone want to have a snap, feel free to have a snap on this. පොඩක් ඉන්න අපි තව පොඩක් ඉස්සර කතා කරමු මේකේ චූටි පාර්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. The other thing is money demand, right? Talking on money demand, there are a couple of factors, right? There are a couple of factors which affects money demand. අපි ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරගමු. Right. What factors? What are the factors which affects money demand? What are the factors which affects money demand? Money demand එකට බලපාන factors මොනවාද? right? Okay, so we can start like this. Basically, your income, because look, income is a factor, right? Income is a factor. So income is a factor. So when it comes to income, yeah, what your nominal income is also a factor. Look, nominal income is also a factor, and also what your real income is also a factor. Dekam වෙනවා. Real income කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Purchasing power. And when we talk on real income, we know what real income is coming from your general price level. Or else someone could call this one as inflation also. Paradak ne, right? But I would say price level. Inflation can තමයි process එක ගන්න. Fact එක තමයි, but it's a process. Continuous වැඩි වෙන එක තමයි inflation කියන්නේ. හැබැයි general price level කියන්නේ is the factor. Because not only inflation, even deflation would impact on your money income. Making අපිට inflation කියන්න වැරදි නැහැ, but හරි නැහැ, right? So better to call that general price level. Then we discussed rate, interest rate. This is also a factor. Right? What more you have? We have what? We have institutional factors. Like this is an institutional factor. හිතන්න ඔයාට right? ඔයාට හිතන්න by any chance මේ ලංකාව economic හැදිලා තියෙනවා නම් daily salaries ගෙවන්න. අපි හැමෝටම daily salaries වැටෙනවා නම් අතන daily වැටෙනවා නම් sometimes this might vary. money demand අද අපි money demand අතේ තියාගන්න ගානයි අපිට daily salary වැටෙනවා නම් money demand තියාගන්න විදිය would change. Why? එතකොට හැමදාම මේ mismatch එක හරි අඩු වෙන්නේ daily you know හෙට මට වැඩ කරොත් රුපියල් 2500ක් I would get for my pocket. So you know 2500ක් හම්බ වෙනවා එහෙනම් මට හෙට ගිහින් shopping කරන්න පුළුවන්. So institutional factors would also have an impact. Right? What more you have? You have future money expectations, right? Financial market innovation. Financial market innovation can be introduction of debit card, credit card will also coming under financial market innovation. දැන් ඉස්සරහට දැන් ඔයාලා දකින්න ඇති දැන් හැමතැනම ඇඩ්ජේම යනවා NDB නියෝස් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ වගේ වල financial market innovations. ඒ කියන්නේ you have a digital wallet. Then again, coming from my experience, you might know that I have told you before, I have been to China. So, මාස 3-4ක් එහෙ හිටියා. Right? මේ COVID එන්න කලින් හරිද Wuhan වලට කලින්. So, in there, they use this system called Alipay. Right? Alipay and WeChat Pay. So, basically, ඒක තමයි cashless. ඒ මුළු economy එකම cashless. හල්ලි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැහැ. හැමෝම මේ මෙහෙම අර QR code එක QQ කියලා scan කරපුවම you can put your number, amount එක දානවා, okay කියනවා, මම මෙහෙම කරලා පෙන්නනවා මම ගෙවුවා කියලා. That's it. That's how the things go. පාරේ දඩේ ගෙවන්නත් එහෙමයි ළමයි. Actually මේ අපි කියන්නේ හිඟන්න beggars, even beggars take money from the people like that. එයාලගේ පොඩි මෙතන පොඩි මේ කොක්කක් ගහගෙන මේ කිප් එකක් ගහගෙන එයාලා QR code එක එල්ලගෙන ඉන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් කරේ QR code එක දාගෙන ඉන්නේ. කවුරුහරි සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕන නම් එයාලා QR code එක පෙන්නනවා. We have to scan it and we are putting the amount and then we'll be okay. So එහෙම economy එකක්, right? So they don't hardly keep money in their hand. ඒ ඔක්කොම financial market innovation. So these factors are the key determinants or key factors which affect on money demand. Right? ඔකත් පොඩ්ඩක් මතක තියාගන්න. හරි. If anyone wants to have a snap, feel free to have a snap so that we can be jumping on to money supply perspectives. ඒවා ළමයි දන්නවා ඇති ඉතින් මෙච්චර කාල මාත් එක්ක හිටියානේ මං ඉතින් අර බුල ගහන්නේ නැහැ ඒ කියන්නේ පම්පුරි කිව්ව පච්ච කෙලගල ඔය එක එකකට බැල බැල ඉන්නේ වැඩ නම් වැඩ මාත් එක්ක සෙට් වෙනවා this like work is work and we have limited time I don't have time to play bullshit with you we are working for a dream we are working for time right අපි ඒකින්ද හැම second එකම පුළුවන් උපරිම try කරමු to get something for you. Hari. Okay, then next one. Money supply. And by the way, මට මේ ළමයිකුත් ඒවට ටිප් එකක් මේ because next time ළමයින්ට next year batch එකේ වාරන්ට නෙමෙයි ඔයාලා හොඳ result එකක් දාලා next year අලුත් ළමයි ටිකක් එද්දි the suggestion came from your end was don't phrase this one as a revision class, phrase this one as a short note class. එහෙම කරා නම් ළමයි ගොඩක් තව එයිලු short note ගහන්න ඉගෙන ගන්න short note මේ කතා ගන්න ඕන ළමයි ගොඩක් එයිලු. So maybe that's the short note class, right? So we are preparing short notes and mind maps because it is the easiest way for you to learn something. Hari, now money supply. Now I have a simple question. What do you mean by money supply? කටපාඩම් කරලා දාන්න. My simple question is money supply a flow concept, or else we call it as a static concept here, right? Else not people call this one as a stagnated concept, right? Or else some would call this one as a non-flow concept, right? Whatever the name you want, you can put it, right? So I'll put it as non-flow so that you can put whatever name you want. A flow concept or as a non-flow concept. Non-flow kita damuko. Yes, people use static stock. Okkoma thiyena ma ekuma liyanna me kalane. Stock, static, non-flow, a flow concept. What is money supply? Our money supply is basically coming under a non-flow concept. It is not a flow concept. It is a non-flow. Yes, and you can call this one as a stock concept also, or as a static concept. Okay, right? Then tell me, what is the flow concept? An example, please. An example for a flow concept. අපි ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙන දේවල් වලින්. Yes. So basically, income would be a flow concept. So if someone asks you, right? If someone asks you, what's the difference between income and money supply, right? What's the difference? The difference is money supply is a stock concept, or is a non-flow concept. Their income is a flow concept. Right? Now let's count. What do you mean by a stock concept? What do you mean by a stock concept? මොකද stock concept එකක් කියනවා? What do you mean by stock concept? මොකද stock එක flow එකක් කියන්නේ වචනම දෙනවා flow එකක් කියන්නේ ගලාගෙන යනවා වෙනස් වෙනවා වගේ දෙයක්. What do you mean by stock concept? මොකද මේ stock concept එකක් කියන්නේ? stock එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Invented අපි කියනවා මොකද stock කියලා කියනවනේ accounting වල. What do you mean by stock concept? It is right, a stock concept or as a stock value. Stock value කියන්නේ මොකද? It is a certain amount or as a certain figure or as it is a certain අපි ගමු amount or as amount or a figure in a given period or else at a given time. Right? අපි කියන වෙලාවේදී අද money supply එක අපිට calculate කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Because it is a stock concept. right? So if someone asks you, what do you mean by money supply? Money supply is what? Is the stock of currency, or else what? The money which circulates. Money which circulates in the country is known as money supply. මේක තමයි money supply කියන්නේ. Money කොච්චර කරගෙනවද රටක් කියලා, right? So that is money supply. Now with this theoretical definition we can define money. මේ general definition එකෙන් ළමයි we can give definitions, right? We can define money. How are you going to define money? Based on their components. Define money based on components. Right? Define money based on your components, right? So, all right, thank you for done with it. Right. First one. What is the first type of money we have? In the economy. මොනවද තියෙන පළවෙනි ජාතිය? මොන ජාතිය මොකක්ද? Aramai, what is the first one? First one is we call it as narrow money. එනම මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ උපරිම අපි කියන්නේ බෙනිෆිට් එක තියෙන්නේ ඔයාලත් මාත් එක්කම මේක ෆලෝ කරනවා නම්. කියන මාත් එක්කම ඔයාලම උත්තර දෙවි. ඔයාලා මේක වැරදිලා. ඒතර ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා මට මේක මතක නැහැ කියලා. ඒකම උත්තර දෙන්න. මම මෙතන මේ කටින් කියන්න බැරි වුණොත් ඔයාලම follow up කරන්න. Right? So we call this one as what? M1. දැන් මට කියන්න බලන්න. What are the components in M1? What are the components in M1? M1 include what? අපි ඉතල කතා කරා මතකද? M1 include what? CP plus demand deposit of the company. What do you mean by CP? हमें CP कहने में CP कहने currency held by the public. So all the name pain නැතුව ඇති but table ලියා ගන්න හරිද? මම දන්නවනේ මේ මොකක්ද කියලා. DDP කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Demand deposits by the public. Public මේක demand deposits තියෙන commercial banks විතරයි as commercial banks. right? ඒ ටික ඔක්කොම ලියා ගන්න හරිද? මම short note එක හදලා දෙනවා. ඔයාලා මේක පස්සේ ලියා ගන්න මොකද්ද මේ කියලා. Right? I hope now you දැනන් ඉන්නත් ඕනේ හරිද? Second one we call it as what? Yes, it is broad මේක narrow money supply को तरफ නැහැ නම यार define money supply එක මම දාන්න. It's money supply and broad money. It is M2. Right. So for M2, what do you have in M2? M2 will have M1 plus yes, time and saving deposits of the public. Time and saving deposits of the public. What do you mean by TSDP? What is this? Time and saving deposits of the public. What do you mean by time and savings? Fixed deposits or savings accounts. Then we have third type. Look at the third type. Is it M3? Yes, what is the third type? which is basically revolved in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka statistics වලදී capture කරන්නේ මොකක්ද ඊළඟට? Yes, we call it as a consolidated broad money, M2B. So what do you have in M2B? You have what? You have M2, right, plus nothing. You know, දැන් මොනවද එන්නේ එකතු වෙන්නේ? M2B එකට මොකද තමයි එකතු වෙන්නේ? Right. So we have in M2, right? We have TSD, time and saving deposit, but now it is not public. It is what? It is not public. It is the non-resident financial, right? Non-resident financial, or as not but non-resident foreign currency accounts. Time and saving deposits of non-resident foreign currency accounts. But in here, Ramai, the trick is we capture only 50% of this. Why we capture only 50%? Because it is a non-resident financial currency. What is even non-resident? ලංකාවේ පදිංචි නොවන non-residents. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයාලා ජීවත් වෙන්නේ might be outside, but they are having accounts in here. තේරුණාද? ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් හිතන්න Middle East කට්ටිය. Middle East කට්ටිය කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? Residing not in Sri Lanka, but they originate in Sri Lanka, but they are not residing in Sri Lanka. So they are captured under NRFC or TV ගත්තාම NRFC account here, right? That is it. And the next one is make it 50% ගත්තා. ඒක තියෙනවා. Then we have time and saving deposits of whom? Of yes, foreign currency banking units, right? So we use this notation called RD, right? RD, right? Residence, domestic residence, foreign currency banking unit. Domestic residence again, foreign currency banking unit. Then මෙයාලගේ ඉන්න මොකද? They live in Sri Lanka, but they have a dollar account. Right? Simple example. Basically, ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපේ companies, ලොකු companies, specifically these garment companies, they have FCBU accounts. එයාලා ගොඩක් අයට import export කරන්න ඉන්න එයාලා ගොඩක් අයට ඩොලර් වලින්ම තියාගන්න, right? That is RDFCBU. These are residents foreign currency banking units. Residents, deposits of residents in the foreign currency banking unit. That is the third one. The next one is fourth one. Then we have one. මොකද අපිට ඊට පස්සේ ඉන්නේ? Yes, you can put it like 50% or half into NRFC, FC may RFC, right? Or as FCBU, එහෙම ලියන්න පුළුවන් එක වැරද්දක් නැහැ. හරිද? ඒකෙන් වැරද්දක් නැහැ. What we claim half into NRFC and half into RFC. It is residence foreign currency accounts කියලා ලිව්වොත් වැරද්දක් නැහැ. හරි? ඒකේ වැරද්දක් නැහැ. හැබැයි අර අපි මොකක්ද කියන්නේ standards වලට මාරු වුණානේ. Right? when we changed into the new standard, you have these notations. Unfortunately or fortunately, these are the notations we have. ඒක හින්දා stick කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ වලට වඩාත් හොඳයි. හැබැයි මොකක්ද exam එකේදී අමතක වෙලා වගේ ගියොත් අර option එක ලියන්න, but try your best to stick with what is there in the current central bank report. And okay, fourth one. What we have in fourth one? This is M. Yes, we call this one as the very broad money. This is M, M3 or as M4. This is, yes, this is M4. So what are the components in M4? We have M2B plus, what do we have in M4? M2B plus yes, we have M2B plus time and saving deposit, time and saving deposit. Now, when it comes to this public, right? මෙතන මේ කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? මෙතන මේ කියන්නේ commercial bank. Right? Commercial bank. හැබැයි මෙතන මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ? Time and saving deposit of whom? Time and saving deposit of the whom? The license specialized bank. We call it LSB. Right? Plus, we have what? We have the time and saving deposit in the registered financial corporations, RFC. මෙන්න මේක හින්දා තමයි RFC කියන word එක මෙතන ලියන්න එපා කියලා. RFC කියන එක ඔය notation එකක් විතර මෙතන ලියුවොත් NRF 50% of NRFC and plus RFC කියලා එතකොට පොඩි technical issue එකක් come in, because we have RFC and we use RFC to interpret registered financial companies or as corporations, not that the residential foreign account, currency account, balance account, right? Again, try to stick to these notations. අකමැත්තෙන් අමාරුවෙන් හරි. Right? So now let's see. M1, this is what you need to keep in mind. Then you need to keep in mind this part. Then you need to keep in mind this part. Then you need to keep in mind this part. Look, this is how the waterfall comes into play. එකතු වෙවි තමයි යන්නේ. හරි ඒකෙන් එක පාර්ට් එකක් අමතක තියාගන්න. ඒකෙන් මොකක්ද ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් වෙන්නේ? මෙන්න මේ පාර්ට් එක. Then from here to this part. Then from here to this part. This is how you keep things in your mind. මේක පොඩි ඔළුවට දාගන්න. flow එකක් වගේ දාගන්න. හරි. Now කොහොමද? පොඩි පාර්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. we'll capture it and we'll wind the class off. ඊට පස්සේ අපි paper එකේදී ඉතුරු ටික කතා කරමු. Right? That is, now we identify money supply. Now a simple question is, all this stuff, right? What are the determinants of this money supply? Tell me, what are the determinants of money supply? Monad, what would determine the money supply? අපි දැන් මේ කියන්නේ cash in public, cash in hand, commercial bank deposits, අරක මේක, right? My question is, what would determine the money supply? දැන් මේක exam එකේදී අහලා statement ප්‍රශ්නයක්. What are the determinants of money supply? මොනවද determinants තියෙන්නේ? exam එකේ 4 mark question එකක් අහන්න ඕන. What are the determinants of money supply? What you are going to write it? මම මේක මතක තියාගන්න ලීසි ක්‍රමයක් කියලා දෙන්නම් ඊට පස්සේ මට දන්න දේ කියන්නකෝ yes right අපි ගමු determinants of money supply money supply එකේ determinants තේරුම් ගන්න තියෙන ලීසියම ක්‍රමය තමයි right money supply කවුද අපිට මාකට් එකට දෙන්නේ අපිට මේක මාකට් එකට දෙන්නේ කවුරුත් නෙමෙයි කවුද banking system එක right money supply this is determined basically by whom determined by a banking system banking system එක අස්සේ කරගෙන දෙවල් තමයි මේ ඔක්කොම අස්සේ තියෙන්නේ නේද මේ ඔක්කොම banking system එක අස්සේ or else financial system එක අස්සේ තියෙන්නේ right so banking and financial system now let's take things from here මට කියන්න බැංක් එකක් මොනවද මුලින්ම කරන්නේ බැංක් එකක් කරන්නේ මොකද්ද borrowing and lending එතකොට මොකද්ද පළවෙනි එක තමයි මොනවද which determine the level of what the level of net borrowings right the level of net borrowings net අපිට තව පොඩක් ස්පෙસિෆික් කරමු net domestic borrowing of the banking system net domestic borrowing කොච්චරක් රට අස්සේ ණය දීලා ණය අරගෙන තියනවද that is the first one second one right what is that net domestic assets right net domestic assets right net domestic assets right so what do you mean by net domestic assets is right that borrowings කියන්නේ මොනවාද කොච්චරක් ගත්තද what do you mean by domestic asset එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කොච්චරක් දුන්නද දැන් ඔය දෙක set off වුණාම තමයි it determines your money supply right we have two parties now එකක් මොකද්ද borrowing පැත්ත අනිත් පැත්ත lending පැත්ත අපි net lending කියන්නේ අපි මේකට කියන්නේ මොකද්ද අපි basically call it as net domestic assets because when you lend it it becomes an asset right this is the second one third one is net foreign assets the method of the net foreign assets of the banking system the method of the foreign assets කොහොම තමයි අපි ඒක set off කරනවා කෙලින්ම මේ දෙක set off කරනවා මේ domestic right මේ domestic assets මේ domestic assets එක මේ දෙක domestic borrowing assets කියලා අපි දෙකට දැම්මට මෙතනදී එකපාර දානවා net foreign assets කියලා right and the last one is other assets මේ කිසිම දෙයකට capture වෙන්නේ නැති right වෙන මොකක් හරි එකක් තියෙනවා නම් that is captured under other assets right these are the main components which determine the money supply right banking system which determine the money supply is something like this now we have another most important topic to discuss right and මේක අස්සේ තියෙන parts තමයි පොඩි parts වගේ තියෙනවා ඒ ටික පොඩ්ඩක් බලා ගන්න හරිද මොනවාද මේක අස්සේ තියෙන්නේ මේ foreign assets domestic assets මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියන එක චුට්ටක් have a double check now we are going to discuss the last topic which is again most crucial that is called the high powered money right now tell me what do you mean by high powered money or else we call this one as base money also or else reserve base money කියනවා හරිද සමහර අය මේකට reserve money කියනවා right මේ ඔක්කොම එකම එක right? Base money, reserve money මේ ඔක්කොම එකයි. What do you mean by high powered money? මොකද්ද මේ high powered money කියන්නේ? If someone asks you money supply and high powered money is same, agree or not? If someone asks you, and if someone tell you, right, high powered money and money supply is same or not, what can you tell about that? Yes, the first argument is right? Money supply and high powered can not same. But we have relationships with තියෙනවා. පොඩි relationship එකකුත් තියෙනවා. මොකක්ද මේ high powered money? මොකක්ද මේ base money? මොකක්ද මේ reserve money? මම explain කරන්න ගම ලේසිම වචනේ තමයි base. මේක ලේසිම explain කරන්න. මට උගන්වන්න ලේසිම වාද base කියන word එක. What do you mean by a base? Right? What do you mean by a base? So high powered money is actually the base for your country's money supply. Agree or not? High powered money is the base for your entire money supply of the country. Can you agree on that or not? High powered money කියන්නේ මේ country ගේ base එක කියලා කිව්වොත් හරියද වැරදිද? Yes, lamai. So we can claim this one as like that. So basically what high powered means in one aspect, right? This is your base for the country's what? Money supply. Right? So because of this, we can derive a simple formula, right? What is that formula? What do we call that formula? May base එක කියලා අපි identify කරගන්න එක. We can call this one a simple pretty formula එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් how we create money supply. Yeah, money supply would be equal to what and what? Right? Because it's the base එක මත තමයි ඒ base එක හින්දා තමයි money supply create වෙන්නේ. So if so, money supply would be equal to what and what? Yes, yes, the word itself said, I told you this is system, right? Money supply would be equal to your high powered money into your K. Now someone would ask you, what do you mean by K? K is your what? Is it money multiplier or as deposit multiplier or as both the same? Alamai? Antim hoda nidagන්න එපා අපේ ඉන්න ගැම්මෙන් ඉන්න right කියලා බලන්න. So is money multiplier or deposit multiplier both the same or else two different concepts? And if it is both two different concepts, what do you come in here? Yes, it is the money multiplier. So what do you mean by money multiplier? This is what? This is the multiplier which creates money in the market with the change, with the impact of your high powered money. So we can capture K. K would be equal to what? K would be equal to your money supply divided by high powered money. මේකම අපි පොඩක් convert කරා වෙන විදිහකට. හරි. දැන් ඔන්න money multiply high powered money එක පාටයක් අපි capture කරා. It is the base of the country's money supply. Now my question is, what do we have in this base? What are the components? What are the components that would come in the base? The base එකේ, right? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ high powered money එකේ තියෙන components ටික මොනවාද? What are they? Yes, first one. What? CP, currency of the public, right? Second one, right? Currency held with the commercial banks. With commercial banks, we call it as CKB. Third one, and what we call third one, deposits of commercial banks with the central bank. Deposits of commercial banks with central bank, right? The reserve requirement, RR. And the last one is what? And the last one is deposits of other governmental institutions maintained at central bank. Deposits of other governmental institutions maintained at central bank, BOI. So these are the key components which is coming under your what? Your high powered money. Now the last part for the day is, what is this all about? Right? මේ මොනවාද මේ? මොනවාද අපි මේකට කියන්න පුළුවන්? මේ හතරට අපිට කියන්න තව නමක් තියෙනවා. What can we call them as? These are what? මොනවාද මේ? කාගේ මොනවාද මේ? What can we call this as? Money supply එකේ base එක, right? In other terms, yes, what are they? right? We also call them as the direct financial liabilities of the central bank. We call them as what? You can see this one, pain of the direct financial liabilities of central bank, right? After central bank balance sheet, if we take a central bank balance sheet, these are the direct financial liabilities. We have two more other non-direct, indirect financial liabilities also, like the foreign loans and all this stuff. But these are the direct financial liabilities of central bank. Then, with having said these things, right, we can call high powered money as the direct financial liabilities of the central bank. Agree or not? අපිට එහෙම කියන්න පුළුවන්ද බැරිද? high powered money කියන්නේ මොනවාද? High powered money කියන්නේ direct financial liabilities of the central bank. Agree or not? Right? අන්න ඔය ටික තමයි මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක එක එක්සෑම් එකේ මතක තියාගන්න එක එක විදිහට අහනවා. They might ask you what do you mean by direct financial liabilities? High powered කියලා කොහෙවත් ගාවල නැහැ. But they might be asking you financial direct liabilities. ඒකට කල්පනා කරනවා මොනවාද කොලේ financial direct financial liabilities. No. Those are the simple components which is included in your high powered money, right? This is what you need to know regarding money supply in the first tranche. අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු. ගොඩක් අපි කතා කරන්න තියෙනවා, but the remainder actually අපිට pricing තමයි යන්න තියෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ, so we can discuss pricing in the next class. And so up to here we'll be having little questions in this weekend. මේ weekend එකේ class එකේ you will have this, and මම හිතුණා pricing එකේ questions එකකුත් දානවා, so that in the next class we can discuss pricing also with question based, right? So these are the key components what you need to know when it comes to money supply and the high powered money. From exam එකේ frequently this is frequently tested, and also this flow concept, static stock concept ඒක අහනවා මේ ඔක්කොම right? High powered money which also can be tested, and specifically the components, right? So they have it like that way. So right, so Budu, your question, I'll come back to you. This is a very valid question, right? So I'll come back to you maybe in the next class in the next paper also, so we can discuss on that question. Right? So these are the key components what you need to know when it comes to high powered money and all. We'll discuss it right in here. Okay, so the question is, does the central bank has perfect control? Does the central bank has a perfect control over high powered money? Yes or no? Right, central bank, whether central bank has high powered money. I put in the chat also. I need your answers. Love to see your answers. Whether central bank has the perfect control over the stock of high powered money. You can name currency of the public, currency held with the commercial bank, deposits held with the bank, deposits of the government institutions. Right? We have everything. Does it have the full control? No, we don't have the full control, right? Central bank has full control, right? Full perfect control, making it perfect control. They have control up to a certain extent. That's how supply central bank change. Simple example, they print money, CP increase, money supply increase, right? That's the simple logic. But we don't have the perfect control. Perfect control. I'll tell you a simple example, right? Currency held with the commercial bank. Then central bank determine currency commercial bank hold karna. Can the central bank has control? And also DOI. RRR control deposits with the central bank, getting rate you have to keep it. But what about DOI? Central banking in a canon, right? I don't think so, right? So it's not perfect. Up to a level you have control, but not in the perfect level. Right? So if anyone wants to have a step, feel free to go for it. I didn't get your question. What about foreign exchange means? Foreign exchange. Central bank has no control over foreign exchange. So So ඒ ටික තාම තියෙනවා, right? ඉතින් මම ඒව market එකට දාලා තියෙනවා. So the control amount about that foreign currency is with me. So central bank don't have a full control. ඒකට full control, perfect control එකක් නැහැ. දැන් හිතන්න දැන් මාව තියෙන පොඩි ගාණක්. හරි මම හිතන්න but if I put that in the market, dollar supply එක වැඩි වෙනවා. dollar supply එක වැඩි වෙනවා මොකද වෙන්නේ? dollar rate එක අඩු වෙනවා. basically it would happen. මාගාවේ පොඩි ගාණක් තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒකත් but මම ඒක හිතන්න ලොකු ගාණක් කියලා. ඔයා දන්නේ ගොඩක් ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් trade කරන කට්ටිය trade කරන means like big scale companies කරන කට්ටිය what they do is like they are not putting money foreign currency also in your bank accounts. Or in Sri Lanka there are people who keep money in your safes, right? Safe වල දාලා තියාගන්න specifically this foreign currency. හේතුව අපේ ලංකාවේ වෙවිලා අපි කියන්නේ මොකද ආසියාවේ අමුතු වැටේනේ ආසියාවේ ආශ්චර්යය but our currency depreciate all the time. So ඒ කාලේ මට මතකයි I took this dollars මාගාවත් තියෙනවා මම රටෙන්ද ගත්ත dollars වල තම spend කළා. I took it back in $1 cost me around $132 rupees. රුපියල් 132යි. එක ඩොලර් එකක් මම ඒ කාලේ ගත්තේ දැන් උදු මම හිතන්නේ 6ක් විතරයි අරගෙන. 5ක් 6ක් කරේ අරගෙන. But now it's what? It's 200 plus. So foreign currency exchange still central bank has no perfect control. එයාට පොඩ්ඩක් articulate කරන්න පුළුවන් but no perfect control. මට දැනනවයි in the world there is no perfect control for anyone, right? Because we always believe there is someone above you who can have control, right? Everybody is under somebody. But උඩ ඉන්නේ කවුද කියලා කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැහැ. හැමෝටම කාටවත් full control එකක් නැහැ in this economic scenarios. මොකද තමයි perfect control තියෙනවා අපි economics ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ නේ. Because he is the bugger who control everything now. So we don't have perfect. Exam එකේ පොඩ්ඩක් කලබල වෙන්න එපා. චුට්ටක් be mindful if they use the word like perfect or as full. පොඩ්ඩක් එහෙම තිබ්බම පොඩ්ඩක් panic වෙන්න නැතුව පොඩ්ඩක් කලබල වෙන්න නැතුව කල්පනා කරන්න. හරි. So ළමයි that's it pretty much for the day. Thank you for being so very attentive. It's 12. I hope we had a good day. So we'll be having the paper tomorrow or maybe day after, and we'll be discussing the paper on this Saturday. And then again the next Wednesday you will have the class, right? So kudos, good job, and let's meet up on this Saturday. Until then, take care and study well. If you have any concerns, drop me a text out there to help you. Good night, take care, see you.